Good afternoon. I want to go through our program and give you an orientation as to what all these tabs are for and when you should use them. Well, scroll over here and get to the first one. We are on Hello from Bruce and Quant. That's exactly what it is, hello. We're going to give you a little overview of the 4 programs we built. The first 2 that are in this program that you own are Fast and Light, and they talk together. The third one that's been included is also Pro. We did not include Elite because it's a Visual Basic on top of Excel and it won't work on the Macintosh, and we wanted to be sure that all our buddies in the Mac world could use our tools for structuring their next deal. So if you want to contact us, here's where you do it. We'd love to hear from you. Good or bad, drop us an email. Now, that's me, Bruce Bedeau. This is Glenn Gutierrez. He's my marketing genius. A good pet isn't a bad idea either. So here's Gerard the camel. Okay, so the next tab we're going to go to is the entry examples. The most important part of the entry example really is the spin button. Now, we sometimes use spin button to do a concatenated statement where you're seeing words and numbers together with the numbers changing. Sometimes you'll just see a regular number. And by the way, anytime you see red, you can change it. But with the case of spin buttons that come with form controls, you can only go to 30,000. So if you want to go past 30,000, you see this, you actually have to put the number in by hand. And sometimes there's a limit because we don't want the numbers to get too big. For example, here we can make a large number, but it's because we have a formula inside here that gives you 1,000 times whatever's in the spin button. Now you can change this if you want. You can just go like that, or you could zero it out, or in this case you could make a very big number. Now if you get too big, you'll probably see that and will probably prevent you from putting in such a large number with a data validation. We've been pretty careful about all that. So notice what happens as soon as you click the spinner, you come back down within the range. So there it is. Now we're going to go on to the next one, a green shark cap table fast. Now this is our primary introductory tool. It does talk with Light. It does not talk to Pro, but in conjunction with Light, it's a very attractive tool. It also, in this particular instance, allows you to sell shares and it allows you to buy shares. Let's see if we can get buy shares. There we go. Notice we got a little different color here. Basically, buying shares is if somebody calls you up the telephone and says, hey, I got a great deal for you. So they're trying to do what you've been doing when you're selling, except now you're buying. Is it a fair deal? Use Shark Cap Table to determine it. And we'll tell you all about it in our various tutorials, but basically you can do 2 things here. So let's move on to the red tabs. The next tab is the Detailed Founder Valuation. This is central to any analysis that's done, whether it be Fast, Light, or Pro. You have to do your valuation, and you need to be able to demonstrate why, and it really helps to answer these 11 questions as to why you're valuable. Well, now we're going to scroll over because we need to see the last bits here. Okay. Here is the Shark Cap Table Pro. I'm going to go all the way to the top. This actually is the simplest of all the tools, but it's used by professionals such as venture capitalists, VCs, and the reason they would do it is that there are a number of founders, there are a number of option players. Everybody still has to do this analysis, but the key difference here is now you have Series A shares plus Series A convertible debt. You've seen this before, which is just the revenue projection, so you see what kind of a multiple you're selling out at. We have 2 very nice dashboards. This one really is just an entry dashboard. You can quickly put in some numbers. This is the one where you actually make the deal. You can see the internal rates of return, and you can actually do the voting control dependent upon whether you want founders and option holders to vote or just founders. And over here, same sort of thing, except this time you can either do Series A and convertible votes, or the Series A votes, or neither Series A or convertibles vote. Very handy little thing here. And right here is where you actually enter the data, and you can see the interrelationships along the top here. We do some concatenation. We give you the offering narrative. and we give you the investment returns narrative, which includes preferential returns, something neither of the prior programs have. There are preferential royalties, but we're not using them. Preferential returns are entirely different, and we'll explain what those are. Now we have several more nice tables: investment returns, capitalization summary with voting shares. You'll see that right here, and that, of course, is being driven by up here. So the last one is the summary of the founder and the pre-money exit returns. All right, so here's this more founder sheet. These are the first 5. Then you can put in up to 25 more for a total of 30. And here's our executive summary. It's a little shorter summary of the opportunity because we have the discussion of the offering with the offering table, and then we have the returns with the returns table. Now, you can use the lexicon in any one of these 3 programs because the terms and the terminologies are used throughout the investment banking deal-making world. So here are some great definitions, and helps you get a handle on what's really going on. Now, we gave you a little graphic here, and what we're trying to do is to show you where you might be able to use our 4 tools. This is basically a cash flow diagram where early on you're putting money in and you're not getting any out. Then you come across a break-even point. There's a little bit of a downswing. You still have to have a little cushion. And then you start making some positive cash flows. Well, in this early stage area here is where you're raising some money, and you could use the fast or the light to do that. A little later on, you're going to have another round, and you could be using a pro or the elite, and you may have 1 round or several more. As a company grows, it's almost impossible to do it from internally generated cash if you want to grow fast and take advantage of your market opportunities. So this is a little example of what actually happens, stages and phases and additional rounds, and when you could use our tools. Let's go to the next one, Fast, Light, Pro, Elite comparisons. Well, we included this just so you can get an idea what's going on. This colored section here is handy because it gives you a very basic definition of when you probably want to use the tools. The real specific details of what each tool does, and of course there is some overlap, will be found in this table here. System requirements for either Windows or Mac. And by the way, all but Elite will work on the Mac and the Windows. Only Elite works on Windows. Or if you happen to have a Mac that's equipped with the Windows simulation, you can use it. Now, let's go to the next one, the verbal description. Here's just a little description of what these 4 programs are. And the last thing we gave you is a bunch of logos. Not sure you're ever going to use them, but if you want to, of course, you have to promote our product using these. This is not for your own use. You can come in here and you can unprotect the sheet, and then you can copy these pictures. Leave these alone because these are all done in Excel, and I just made a picture of them. So let's set back the protection without a password. The rest of the program is highly password protected with a giant, complex, uncrackable password. So they say. Anyway, thanks very much. Good luck. Let us hear from you.